Crypto grifters are at it again. This time, it's a whole new narrative for JPEGs. Apparently, Ordinals are saving the Bitcoin miners. As if the JPEG grift couldn't get any more cringe, let's dive into this tweet from Jason A. Williams. I know this is going to be unpopular with a lot of Bitcoiners, but I just want to pause here and give a sincere thanks to Udi. Udi put a premium on BTC block space again, and it created a huge new revenue line for industrial scale miners. Udi is keeping the lights on. That's a disingenuous, shitty take. And we're going to explain why, of course. I'm not just going to leave you with no receipts. And Wendy's response isn't much better. Not only did he single-handedly stop miner capitulation. No, there was no miner capitulation. We're gonna dive into that as well. But he helped an old lady across the street and rescued an elf. Okay, so I mean, and that's just trolling. But the fact that she mentioned miner capitulation, that is absolute bullshit. Anyways, we're going to dive into why that's bullshit a little bit later. But first, I want to give a little bit of a counter narrative to this whole, oh, JPEGs are saving Bitcoin. They're not saving Bitcoin. And one of the pieces of evidence we can give is, how many of you are using Counterparty today? And there's like a bunch of people right now, some noobs going, what's Counterparty? Exactly. Counterparty didn't save Bitcoin then. Ordinals isn't saving Bitcoin today. Now, let's provide a counter narrative to this bullshit about JPEGs helping Bitcoin miners. A really good opinion piece out of Bitcoin Magazine from a actual Bitcoin miner, right? Not just some random shitcoin shill like Udi, or a grifter like Jason. That this is from a person who actually mines Bitcoin for a living. Anyways, how my Bitcoin mining firm is surviving crypto winter again. Wait a second. They survived a first crypto winter without JPEGs? Man, how did they do that? These must be superhumans. We've been here before. This is the second crypto winter for my company, which produces Bitcoin mining containers. Our first crypto winter. Our company was launched in the first quarter of 2017 as a data center hosting solution. We suffered a knock-on effect and initiated widespread redundancies as we struggled amid the looming cryptocurrency crash of the time. We arrived at the second crypto winter as one of the world's largest Bitcoin mining container producers, producing 10 containers every week. We have been one of the pioneers in utilizing wasted, flared gas energy for Bitcoin mining and had to build 10 cryptocurrency mining facilities across 8 states and Canada, operating with more than 200 megawatts of power. 2022 was among the most challenging years for us and the entire Bitcoin mining industry. It was characterized by declining Bitcoin prices and rising energy costs influenced by the energy crisis provoked by the war in Ukraine. Many mining companies declared bankruptcy, and those that survived had to reconsider their operations. From my 6 years of experience running Bitcoin infrastructure company, there are a few solutions I can share that I hope will help others or offer insight into how resilient Bitcoin mining can be. First, we called our power providers. The bull run over the last few years has shown that Bitcoin miners prioritize acquiring miners over securing relationships with utilities. We believe that prioritizing the securing of power and all of the infrastructure behind it is critical. Last year, the bankruptcies of mining companies taught us just that. Having open communications with power providers on realistic expectations always helps sketch a clear plan for getting power flowing safely and on time. That's right. Nothing beats communication and expectation setting. It's when you stop communicating with somebody that they start to feel that you're avoiding them. Now, in the terms of in regards to business, right? Like if you extrapolate this out to the personal level, it's the same type of thing with like credit card companies, or if you have some debt that you need to service. One of the worst things you can do is stop communicating with the debtor. One of the best things you can do is communicate with them constantly. And that way they don't feel that they're being avoided. And in many cases are not just going to go and drop the hammer on you because they know that you're willing to communicate. It's very simple things like that. But yeah, that is a great piece of advice, right? I mean, a lot of times I can tell you from my experience, what I've read, I've always thought the whole entire challenge is acquire as many miners as you possibly can. But yes, indeed, right? You need power and you want to be securing those relationships with the power companies, and you want to make sure that you have good open communication with them and that they understand your needs and you understand theirs, because it is in fact a relationship and not just a one-way street. Take a hands-on approach to construction. We all know that electricity bills often take up more than 90% of mining expenditures. However, the seed for a successful Bitcoin mining operation site is planted with the first conduit in the ground, even before the machines start buzzing. Developing a Bitcoin mining farm is a tedious job, requiring many moving pieces to come together. Usually we're focused on the Bitcoin price and mining difficulty, that not enough time is spent on the design, site planning, and construction of a well-run facility. We've learned that a well-built Bitcoin facility reduces operational, cooling, maintenance, and uptime expenses for years. On the other hand, a poorly designed site can lead to rebuilding a plane in the air. And I have alluded to that analogy so many times. So many products, hardware and software, are built like this, sadly. A lot of companies will give you a minimum viable product and then essentially start to do the further design of the product once it's actually out in the field. They just got to get something out. So yeah, I mean, in this case, it's not about getting a product out the door, but it's just more about taking the time to plan, right? If you don't do that, I think, what's that saying? Measure twice, cut once. So this is the same type of thought, right? You should take the time to measure twice, to double check everything. So that way you only have to make one cut. Think creatively about energy consumption. As power demands and electricity costs continue to rise, miners must integrate their power generation vertically. They must find new ways to generate revenue that do not only depend on hash price. In 2018, when the Bitcoin price started to fall, we were looking for alternative and affordable power to stay afloat. Gas and electric generation has been around for decades and is relatively simple. What about natural gas? We would not have to buy propane tanks to mine Bitcoin. There was no need when billions of cubic feet of natural gas are burned annually in oil fields. While drilling for oil, natural gas is released from the same reservoir. Sadly, the gas is flared due to a lack of infrastructure or economic feasibility in capturing it. That's when I first realized that Bitcoin mining could be a tool that supplements the inefficiencies of the energy industry. Since then, we started mining Bitcoin on natural gas. The future. Bitcoin mining has flipped from being just a power consumer to a consumer with benefits. The mining companies that will adopt different mining strategies, including optimizing operational costs, partnering with energy providers, and finding a way to earn additional revenues using Bitcoin mining as a tool for energy management, will prevail. This halving cycle ending in less than a year means that electricity sourcing and power prices will be even more crucial for the long-term success of the Bitcoin mining community. Now, before we get into the discussion, I want to show something else. All right, so this is blockchain.com, and this is the total hash rate, okay? So we saw Wendy's comment about the miner capitulation. We saw Jason Williams simping for Udi and the stupid JPEGs, okay? But we're going to take out all of that noise, and we're going to just take a look at the hash rate. So by their definition, Bitcoin should have already died multiple times because it wasn't getting this quote-unquote adoption, which the JPEGs brought. Well, let's take a look at the hash rate. And you can see here that this blue line, by the way, is the hash rate, and the black line is the USD price. Now you can see that the hash rate has been steadily going up. And then this right here, guys, where you saw this massive decline, this almost 50% chop, that was when China turned off. That's right, the country. Okay, they banned Bitcoin mining. And 50% of our hash rate disappeared overnight. And now, take a look. We continue to climb. Keep in mind, all of this is without ordinals. All of this is without this supposedly premium pricing for the block space. How did we do that? How did we do this without the JPEGs and all of the adoption? I don't get it. Guys, look, the grifters are going to create narratives to make you think that what they're doing makes sense. And look, a guy like a person like Jason A. Williams, who has like over 500,000 followers, right? He makes a comment like that. And then all of a sudden you go take a look at what Udi's writing and you're thinking to yourself, oh, you know, what this guy says makes sense. I mean, look, he got this right. He must understand more. But what people aren't paying attention to, okay, is that Udi was telling people that storing their Bitcoin on exchanges was safer than storing your Bitcoin yourself and holding your own keys. He also shilled Luna. He also shilled FTX. So if you take a look at the track record, okay, the track record is this. These people are not your friends. They are not, and I'm not your friend either. I mean, for that matter, I personally, my whole take is that I just hate fucking scammers. It's plain and simple. I don't like scammers. I don't like people that scam. I think that our moral compasses should be a lot better. And I think we should be more ethical. And the only way that you can do that is to attempt to be an example of that, by not scamming other people and by not shilling absolute dog shit under the guise that it's some kind of miracle. So yeah, you know, like I really think that these people are not good for Bitcoin. I don't believe in the net positive narrative. I think that is a complete load of crap. And going back to that comment from Wendy, shame on her. Because I remember when I first got into this space, and I remember seeing her account, and she would give all these wonderful, touching stories about how hard her life was, and how she, you know, she's just trying to make it with her kid, and how she turned it all around by helping people with crypto. But really, you're just shilling shit coins, okay? And when I see disingenuous comments like, oh, you know, this person through the, and they're not saying it, but I'm saying it, through the grifting of JPEG pointers has somehow staved off the minor capitulation. That is complete fucking nonsense. Okay, we've already had 2 previous cycles. This minor capitulation crap, I heard this back in 2016, 2017. Okay, during that bull run, I remember it was the B cashers were saying this all the time. The minor death spiral, the minor death spiral. All of this is going away. Here we are, guys. There was no minor death spiral. Okay, it's not. Believe it or not, okay? There's way more incentives to mining Bitcoin than just money, okay? Indeed, the people who only see dollars and cents will only see the reasons of dollars and cents. But there are many people in the Bitcoin space, including miners, that believe in personal freedom, number one. Number two, may or may not have a massive stack of Bitcoin and want to protect it. What better way than to protect your Bitcoin by setting up maybe your own small mining farm? I feel that anytime these people tweet something out, they're just simply setting you up for the next grift. Okay? Don't get grifted. Nobody cares about the JPEGs. You'll notice in that whole entire article from Bitcoin Magazine, not once did this particular entity mention that somehow the fees from the JPEGs are saving their miners. It's fucking nonsense. Anyways, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps us with the YouTube algorithm. And guys, I will catch you all tomorrow.